Tremendous job in there. He did what he had to do.
Canelo a big dude, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I believe in my abilities. He's a heavy dude, but he's not a big guy. Like, he's 5'8", I'm 5'8", you know what I mean? My arm's longer than his, you know? That fight it'd be good. You won't get hit in the fight, you know? That's one thing we all know. And I believe in my abilities, and I believe in myself that I can handle anything that any fighter.
It's still 6 months before their store fight comes up yet. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have begun heating up the mood ahead of their super fight in September. The pair had a meeting with Turki earlier today, and the meeting soon became the opposite of what it was meant to do.
Canelo in Riyadh in May, the big fight.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford clashed, and a fight almost broke out, a brawl that Turki wouldn't have been able to do anything about at their meeting with Turki. In Saudi Arabia was to finalize details on their mega matchup. However, the pair met at the airport in Saudi Arabia as they made it to Turkey's home.
His Excellency didn't seem as into this in the past, and now last night seems very on board making this happen. What changed on his end?
I don't know. You have to ask him. You know, I think it's a very intriguing fight. You know, Canelo and me is the same height. I got longer reach than Canelo. I'm faster than Canelo. But Canelo is bigger than me. He's stronger than me. So we both giving away something, but we both gaining something at the same.
The teams of both fighters had expected them to show equal respect to each other. After all, there was never any beef. One thing both fighters always did while they were calling each other out and expecting a clash was to show mutual respect to themselves. However, things soon changed when Terence Crawford approached Canelo Alvarez at the airport to exchange pleasantries, but Canelo appeared to give him a snub.
So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford, but you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why?
Brings that in or throw at me. You know, I gotta be able to believe in myself if I'm gonna get in the ring with you. I can't go in the ring thinking, oh man, if this guy hit me, he's gonna knock me out, or if this guy hit me, he's gonna break my ribs. So now, you know, if he was talking about Deontay Wilder or something,
This led to Crawford making more efforts to approach him, as he was almost physically attacked by Canelo, and then Terence became mad. They both began raging words at each other and were ready to fight dirty. But of course none of the fighters was alone. They both had members of their teams jump on between them to separate them. The authorities at the airport also helped in ensuring that we didn't see a bigger fight before the big fight in September. They then made their way separately to Turki residence, where it's believed the Saudi boxing mogul must have settled the between two fighters. All three of them, Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, and Turki were all seen in a picture that was posted on Turki social media page.
The history of boxing in September, then 2 more fights in 26. Don't miss with the line.
The boxing world needed a historic fight to heat things up this year, and with the help of Turki the fight was delivered at the right time. Canelo Alvarez, alongside the former Undisputed champion from Omaha, Nebraska, has had several meetings with Saudi boxing mogul Turki but beyond the talks, they've now spiced things up with some heated exchanges between them.
Oh, well, it ain't really no message, you know. It's all respect over here, you know, and if, you know, he do decide to come our way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight, you know. It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'll be a well-fought fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody else.
For a fight that'll be deemed the match of the year, People want as much chaos and fierceness as possible. Well, Crawford and Canelo Alvarez know how to give fans what they want, and they're doing just that this season. Turki has been at the forefront of negotiations between both fighters' teams as he looks to finalize one of the biggest fights in boxing history. Canelo was said to be initially hesitant to take a fight against the 37-year-old from Omaha, but it appears the Mexican icon has changed his mind and is now gearing up for this challenge. It's believed that Turki must have done some underground work and enticed Canelo Alvarez with some huge purse to bring him to terms with such a big fight, despite the fact that Canelo Alvarez has a match fixed in May as he plans to fight against William Skull during the Cinco de Mayo weekend. It's his fight against Terence Crawford that is stealing the news.
Para este imbécil intento de gente que tengo aquí a mi izquierda, que no se le olvide que yo ya vine siendo el Canelo a Estados Unidos y que solamente lucró con mi nombre. Nunca perdí un solo centavo, sino nomás ganó dinero. ¿Ya le pagaste a Golovkin lo que le quería robar? Sí, muy bien.
Speaking on the fight during an interview with a reputable boxing platform, the 34-year-old revealed he was in for the clash with, but admitting he won't get any credit. At the end of the day, I won't have any credit if I face Crawford, but you never know in boxing. I go up, hand down and fight everybody out there, so it's possible, why not, it's possible. He then continued, I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter. I always say that, no disrespect to him. Sometimes it's a little crazy that people talk about a small fighter like Charlo, which is big, and then everybody is talking about if I'm going to face Crawford, a fighter around 147 who is smaller than Charlo. Makes no sense, it makes no sense. But you guys say that right now. This was almost a repeat of an interview he had earlier where he said, I'm in, why not? I think Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter, but for me in my weight class, it's an easy fight for me, easy money. If the money is right, I'm in, because I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he moves a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford in the last fight and he doesn't move that much now, so yeah, if the money is right, I'm in.
Hopefully once you guys get in there.
I don't know. I just think, his punching power and his physical size is the only thing that I really...
It's been a different feeling for Terence Crawford, who has been chasing the fight against Canelo Alvarez ever since his win against Errol Spence in the 147B welterweight division that saw him become the undisputed welterweight champion. I've been wanting the fight. It's a heritage fight. It's the biggest fight in boxing today. I feel like the fight is the last of the Mohicans. I think the fight would be huge. You've got two guys who are top 3 pound for pound going head to head together. I know Canelo is bigger than me, but I'm up for the fight. It's all respect, and if he does decide to come my way and we get in the ring, then it would be an exciting fight.
The only thing that I really have to worry about. But who knows? Once we get in the ring, we don't know how I'll handle his punching power, his size. I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life, so I'm pretty familiar with that aspect of the game.
As he trains for the fight in 6 months' time, the former undisputed champion from Omaha, Nebraska, admits he'll have some challenges. He said he will certainly have to be aware of Canelo's size and power, but he also touched on his readiness for the fight and the different tools he was going to bring on fight night. Interestingly, Terence Crawford isn't just used to beating bigger guys throughout his career. He's also used to getting wins against them, as he boasts an undefeated record of 41. Nero, I've been facing bigger guys my whole life, and he's guaranteeing he'd come away with a win. Of course I'll beat him, the 41 Neo-star said. There is no question in my mind that I wouldn't beat anyone I step in the ring with.
No comment. Your reaction to that. And that seems like that you do want this fight now.
Well, I've been wanting to fight, I feel as if that's a legacy fight. I feel as if, this is the biggest fight in boxing today.
What makes a potential Canelo-Crawford fight particularly poignant is the fact that each man's Hall of Fame-worthy career is likely winding down. The 34-year-old Canelo has literally been fighting professionally for nearly 20 years, earning an eyebrow-raising record of 6,220 to some of those fights, especially Canelo Alvarez's, to controversial battles with Gennady Golovkin, have unquestionably led to some wear and tear for Crawford. At 37 years of age, he's not getting any younger with a considerable 41 fights under his belt. Suffice to say, the man has never lost in the ring. Seen through a certain lens, a Canelo-Crawford match makes a considerable amount of sense, for it's worth wondering what mountains are left for each man to climb.
This fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. You know, we both come in an era where Floyd Mayweather was #1 pound for pound, Showtime, and HBO era, that type of era. So,
both of these fighters know what it's like to be an undisputed champion in an age when there are far too few undisputed champions to be found. Each fighter also knows what it's like to fight under the bright lights. Canelo's been in multiple legit super fights against Golovkin and Floyd Mayweather, respectively, while Crawford finally appeared in his first super fight when he crushed fellow welterweight titlist Errol Spence in 9 rounds of one-sided combat. Crawford, who last fought at super welterweight, would have to jump to full weight divisions to face super middleweight King Canelo in what would be one of the biggest fights in recent memory.
I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that no disrespect him, but sometimes he's
Alvarez lost his undisputed status at 168 pounds when he was stripped by the International Boxing Federation, with unheralded Cuban William Skull later picking up the belt. And before he faces Terence Crawford in September, he promised Turki during his press conference with William Skull that he was going to reclaim the International Boxing Federation belt from Skull. The goal is simple. Turki wants to ensure that Canelo Alvarez's fight against Terence Crawford is an undisputed world super middleweight title match, which means Canelo needs the belt from William Skull to make it happen.
A small fighter like Charlo, he's big, which he is big. And everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo.
Ahead of the fight, Terence Bud Crawford is fully aware of the physical disadvantage he would face against Canelo, admitting that size will play a crucial role in the fight. However, he remains confident in his ability to overcome this challenge and impose his boxing style. Many boxing analysts have expressed skepticism about Crawford's ability to compete successfully as super middleweight. This comes in part from his most recent fight, a points victory over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, which lacked the dominant display many expected.
I've seen that. Everybody that believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that.
Regardless of these concerns, the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford has captivated the imagination of boxing fans. The blend of power, speed, skill, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle between Crawford and Canelo. Canelo Alvarez has created a tradition of having two fights a year, May and September, and the latter on the weekend that celebrates Mexico's independence. Since 2022, he has planned his fights in these 2 months, and he's set to do so again in 2025. Crawford, on the other hand, has chosen not to fight anyone until September, when he meets Canelo Alvarez. Many think it's a risky move, as this worked against Errol Spence when he faced Crawford, while Crawford took a tune-up fight before facing Spence. And we know that the man who was battered was the one who fought only once that year.
Over with now, or are we still waiting for that second fight to happen? I don't know, man. I don't know. They still got to go, got to work things out and see where they go from there.
I know Tim Zhu's name's been floated around out there as an opponent. What do you think about Crawford versus Zhu?
Butterstock him.
Yeah?
Butterstock him. Zhu don't think that they can give a shot at Bud after, with the belt not even being on the line. Is that a fight that...
Although it seems that the fight is more media than competitive, as Crawford fights at 15,150 for pounds, the super welterweight, to categories below that of the Guadalajara native. Both Crawford and Sheikh Turki were able to successfully convince Alvarez to accept a fight for which he was asking for $150 million, despite how unconvincing the fight against Terence Crawford could be in sporting terms. Canelo Alvarez isn't taking Crawford lightly, as Crawford's fighting skills are so rare. and it tells why he's still undefeated even after 41 fights. Trainer Robert Garcia spoke about Canelo having an edge over Crawford and also touched on Crawford's situation and boxing skills.
Because the way Crawford is doing it is because he knows it's the biggest payday in his life, and he'll never, maybe what he could get against Canelo, he's never made in all his fights combined. So of course, why would he call out Benavidez when he's calling out Canelo? No.
Crawford is a smart man. He's already gotten everything he wanted, Garcia said in an interview with Fight Hype. He already did a lot. He doesn't need to challenge himself. He doesn't have to show anything to anyone. I've talked to him directly, and my feeling is that he wants that big fight against Canelo, and if he doesn't get it, he might never fight again. Garcia said there are many choices for Crawford in the junior middleweight category should he decide to challenge the current champions. The most attractive is the World Boxing Council and World Boxing Organization champion Sebastian Fundora. He could also face International Boxing Federation champion Bakram Murtazaliev. Other opponents who could make the list are Jermall Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Serhii Bohachek, and Xander Zayas.
He's not gonna bitch out.
You don't think he could go all 12?
He won't bitch out.
He will. He'll do
He'll
better.
put up some good rounds. Get knocked out, but he'll put up some good rounds, and that's better than what Charlo did.
Hey, because he'll fight. He'll fight.
Yeah, exactly. He'll fight. He'll
However, for Robert Garcia, Crawford no longer needs to look for another fight because of his outstanding career and unbeaten record. He has nothing left to prove. He already did it. I don't see him fighting just to please the fans who tell him he needs to fight this or that one, Garcia explained. Garcia thinks that if it were about money, Crawford would have no need to fight again, as he has taken care of his fortune and has investments to back him up. His only reason to return to the ring would be to face Canelo and finish his career on a high. He's going to go out there and look for the big fight. Enjoy his life, man. He's a very smart man. He's put his money. He doesn't need to fight one more time, but he's still looking for that big fight against Canelo, and if he gets it, he'll take it. But other than that, he might never fight again, added the trainer.
I'm not even. He can hit. Like I know he can hit.
Yeah. And he has a great chin.
Yeah.
Has he ever been dropped ever?
He was hurt, remember? Cotto's brother.
Yeah, but that was 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, but he got hurt. So what? He didn't get hurt.
Hey, you bring up Crawford getting hurt by Gamboa. That was 1,000
When
years
did I
ago,
ever
too.
say that?
You said that the other day.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, you did. What's it called?
If the fight takes place against the Guadalajara boxer, Garcia thinks that Crawford can compete with Canelo for several rounds, maybe not enough to beat him but enough to earn his respect and that of the public. Look, I think Crawford could give good rounds. I think the first 6 or 8 games would be very competitive. Crawford has skills. Crawford is very strong. He has great speed and good power to earn Canelo's respect and show him respect. But finally I think Canelo is too big and too strong. But for those 6 rounds I think it would be a very entertaining fight. Garcia concluded.
Berta says that Canelo hits just a slight less heavy-handed than Caballo.
Wow.
You think Caballo's stronger?
I think Caballo's heavier-handed. I think Canelo's stronger, but I think Caballo, there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between powers and stuff.
Right.
Caballo is heavier-handed. Like when he'll jab, he's gonna fight.
Okay, to be fair, Caballo weighed 220 pounds when he sparred him. Well, he did it? What?
Another boxing professional who argues with this is Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia recently told Fight Hub TV that his path crossed with Crawford's at last December's World Boxing Council convention in Hamburg, Germany, where he lauded him on all his successes to date. Crawford is one of the best boxers that I've seen, Garcia said. I told him, dude, you're a bad guy. You've been a bad guy. You don't always get the credit because of politics and boxing and favoritism here and there, but he truly does have the skills. He's a great boxer, and he's proven it multiple times. Obviously still, Garcia questions how Crawford, who fought early in his career at lightweight, would deal with Alvarez 168, where Canelo unified the class and has yet to lose a fight. Alvarez has met the likes of Gennady Golovkin, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and Callum Smith. Jermall Charlo and Jaime Munguia, among others, are at 168, which officially makes him the most experienced fighter in the division. Where do you plan on going? 164, 165, 166? Garcia asked.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, the power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think
Canelo isn't going to come down to 160, maybe 166 maximum, if he accepts. I think Canelo wins the fight based on just the size, power, and size. Now, skills-wise, I think Crawford is a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. Garcia said Crawford, a 37-year-old from Omaha, Nebraska, has accomplished all that he can in for divisions between 135 and 154 and acknowledges the financial lure of a Canelo fight for Crawford, who has never faced a marquee opponent, but he called on both Alvarez and Crawford to consider taking different career paths rather than facing each other. As a fight fan, I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Artur Beterbiev or Dimitri Bivol. Again, Garcia said if he wanted to challenge himself, then he should move up to 175 and test himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy is going up. And the same thing with Crawford. He doesn't need to fight Canelo. He can just fight other guys at 154. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay linked with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.